Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to the video. So the stock market had a slow week this week, though in this video we'll be going over why another large move may be setting up and what to watch for next from the market. Along with that, we'll be going over the top 3 trade ideas that I'm watching in the week and month ahead, including a potential election trade. As always, there are timestamps in the description. Let's go ahead and get into it. So starting out by taking a look at the S&P futures chart. Last week we went over how the market had broken out, which was triggered by the move above 56.63 to 56.69 and into new all-time highs above 57.08. The key levels that we went over were at 5797.5 to 5800 on the upside, which above there would see continued upside, and the key supports we were watching on the downside were at 5737, 5708, and 5663 to 5669, which as long as it held above that zone, buyers continue to be in full control of the trend, and the market is in buy the dip mode. And this week was a very slow week overall, as Monday through Wednesday was pure range-bound consolidation below the 5797.5 to 5800 resistance. On Thursday, the market got the breakout above that zone, with clean follow-through initially, running up to 5830, but after rejecting there, the breakout attempt failed, and the market continued to have this messy consolidation into the end of the week. So this was a very slow week overall for the indexes, but as we've gone over many times before, consolidation phases like this is what result in large directional moves once they break. Think of it as a time when the market is building up energy before it decides which direction to move in next. As we can see some of the other consolidation phases from this year and the directional moves that have resulted from them. So zooming back into the chart, the consolidation does not have a very well defined range yet, but one key pattern that it has built out is with this rising trend line. This will be key to watch into next week since it's already been tested quite a few times. This will be important to watch as if there is a strong sell reaction on a break below there, it can start and result in a market pullback. This would be a very speculative short opportunity, and I would still be leaning bullish on larger time frames, but if you're going to attempt a short, this would be the type of setup to do it with, as you can keep risk very low with a stop loss back above the trend line. And other than that, I would continue to keep the outlook simple. The key levels to watch would be at 5797.5 to 5800, which can now act as a middle pivot, and 5830 as resistance on the upside, where breaking above there sends it to new all-time highs. On the downside, there's the rising trend line, and then below there is 5737, 5708, and then 5663 to 5669. I would continue to lean bullish for the bigger picture as long as it holds above 5663 to 5669, though a break back below there can result in a larger pullback from the market. Before getting some trade ideas for the week and month ahead, I'm going to advise some caution for the first time in a while. With the election coming up in a little bit more than a month, expect volatility to increase, and there's a good chance it will be a much tougher trading environment. And credit to Crushin on Twitter for this data, it's worth noting that the S&P has performed poorly in October during election years. In the past 6 years, this includes downside moves of 11%, 5%, 3.5%, 26%, 4.5%, and 7%. Now, historical seasonality data like this is not the end-all be-all, and even if we do see downside in the indexes, there's always bullish sectors that are tradable within it, but it's just something to keep in mind and maybe be less aggressive until after the election. Alright, so now getting some trade ideas for the week and month ahead, starting out with Enphase Energy, ticker symbol ENPH. So Enphase is a solar company, which also makes it an election trade, where it would be a beneficiary if Harris wins or a loser if Trump wins. Because of that and how tight the chart has gotten, I would expect this stock to make a large directional move soon. So we can see this wedge pattern and consolidation that it's been building out for over a year now, and both the 50 and 200-day moving averages have become flat. When you see a chart like this, there is a ton of energy built up for a move once it makes a break. So zooming in, I would be watching these well-defined trend lines of the wedge pattern to act as the breakout or breakdown triggers. On the upside, resistance is at 123 to 124, where a break and hold above there triggers the breakout, which can target the top of the consolidation at 138, and then gap fills above there at 149.7 and 166. On the downside, trendline support is at 103 to 104, and a break and hold below there would trigger the breakdown and open the downside towards 93 support next below. You will often see large moves from companies that will be affected from the election before the election happens, depending on how polls are looking. So it would not be surprising to see a large move from this stock pre-election. For example, in October of 2020, Enphase made a 40% upside move pre-election, and of course an even larger move post-election. A setup like this could also make for an interesting options play, with something like a December expiry and far out of the money strike price, to where your expectation would be either a 0 or potential 500% plus gain on the option, which is obviously a positive reward versus risk ratio. Another top watch for me is Tesla stock, ticker symbol TSLA. And we went over the setup last week as it broke out of the range above 234.5 to 235. We talked about if it was able to hold above there, this was set up for continued upside, which is exactly what played out this week. It is now nearing the major 265 level, which is the top of the yearly range, and could also be looked at as the cup and handle breakout point or the inverse head and shoulder pattern breakout point. I would expect a pullback next or some consolidation before it attempts that larger breakout move, but this should be at the top of your watch list as there's potential for a massive breakout above 265. A break and hold above it can target the next key levels above, which would be at 279.2, 294.8, 299.3, and then 314. Qualcomm, ticker symbol QCOM, is another stock that is on close watch for me in the week ahead, as it's at a key technical decision point. So price is clustered along with both major moving averages, as it's testing the key 175.35 level, which has been the well-defined top of the 2-month long range. Break and hold above there can trigger an explosive range breakout, which can target 184.15, and then the 190 key level next above there. So that is everything I'm watching for in the week ahead. We should be expecting volatility to pick up once again very soon. Thank you guys for watching, and if anybody interested in joining the private Discord chat, that is the first link down in the description to my personal trade alerts, nightly watch lists, and answer any questions you guys have in there. I'll catch you all next time. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck trading the week ahead, and peace out.